Okay, I've cut this one off flush. Come down here 6 or 8 inches. I'm going to cut into it about a third of the way. Flip to the other side, trying to line myself up the same exact way. Cut in about a third, just like that. Make sure you squirt each other, just like that. Now, come up here about not much further up. Do it again. That's it. Okay. Now, I want to cut this down in size. So, come this way. I'm going to put me a cut across there. On the other side, put another one. Now, come back down here this first cut, cut it off, like that. Now you see I've got a cut in, a cut in. This will become the blade. This is going to become the handle. But by going ahead and splitting it down that thickness, I can now split down to that to narrow it down and have a this wide piece for a spatula. Then I just carve this down to make the handle. Now we'll go set up and do that. Now I like to get the bark off because it has a rubber-like ability to help hold the wood together like an iron tube. So I'm going to get it off, line up my cut, get it up there like I want. Before somebody goes to hollering about Blackie batoning, if I can do it with hand pressure, it's not very tough. And notice I didn't go whacking on it with a mallet or something. All I did was just take my hand and push down on it, splitting it. Now I've got this shoulder here now, so that I can put it against my chest. And I can do this and pull it toward me and have that shoulder catch the blade. I'm tucking my elbow in tight so I can't come back and hit myself. Now I'm going to just square this up. Notice how that Master Woodsman sweet spot right there is just perfect for this. I pull straight back to me, and then when I get to the end of that, I just kind of click up. It pops it off. And over to the other side, same thing. Keeping that elbow nice and tight. A bit of a curve right there. I want to take that curve out. What I'm trying to do is make this into a thin, flat spatula like. And that's what we're going to make here as a spatula. Now don't bite too bad. See how that knife wants to dig in because that edge. I only want to take so much. I gotta be kind of careful, otherwise I'll start hollowing this thing out in a hurry. I don't want to do that. Alright, now I've got it thinner here but thicker there. So I'm going to take and start pushing away from it. Hook it underneath my knee and pull just like this. And shave it off a little at a time. Now once I get this blade kind of roughed out, then I'll go to the handle. Still a little bit thick, right in the middle right there. Take it, bite down, use my fingertips to push it. Mimosa is a good wood to do this with. It splits well. Mimosa is an edible tree. In fact, in China it's called the wellness tree or the silk tree. It's used to treat depression because the tea from it is called wellness tea, and it's used as a calming tea. And the whole tree is safe. You see it's a very pretty white wood. Now flipping over the back of my knife and using that 90-degree spine, get rid of some of them waves like that. Just like that. Now, starting back about halfway up that blade, I'm now going to start thinning it out a little bit more. Just like that. This isn't going to be a super thin like a piece of stainless steel. I want it to end up being about a 1/4 inch thick with a wedge tip. Just something I can push around in a pan pretty easy. And at the same time, not be flimsy where I can pick up something. And that's the problem I've had with modern. In fact, I picked up one, a GS whatever, little spatula, and it looked really cool, and it was silicone and nylon, and it was safe to use in a frying pan, and it is so thin, guys. You go to pick up anything, the blade just bends down. Instead of it picking up like that where I can scoot it up under a piece of something and go to pick it up, it just does like that. You bowing as hard as you can with the blade and it does like that, so forget it. I pitched the thing in the garbage after I got the first time out in the field with it. It looked good, but it didn't perform. And I'd rather just go ahead and make me something to go in my kit. So. And you see there's a hump right there. Now, a smaller knife might be a little easier, to be honest with you. But I can do it with this knife pretty easy. Too. Notice how I'm using it as a lever. Take off all them high spots. Now, this side's thicker than this side, but it's starting to get the taper I want. So I'll go down that edge, nice and easy. I don't want to take too much. So I come down here close to the handle, to my straight edge. And that's where I'm going to gently just pull. I want it nice thin little pieces at a time. Always checking the thickness, making sure that you're not going too much. Flip it around from the other side now. Take that side down a little. Make sure that straight. Keep it all plain. Now I'm using it like a draw knife, see? Right here in this section. I put that and I just let it bite and come across flat. Okay, we're getting there. I've made it into like a little oval. So now flip it over to this side And that draw knife right through the middle. Okay, I chattered there. I want to just slightly slice. Just like that. Keep checking, and wherever it's wrong, fix it. Don't be in a hurry. Alright, now looking at it, this point's a little high. That's fine. I'm going to straighten that up here in a little bit. I'll take the edge right there just a little. We're getting there. Your tools that you make, and this is technically what we used to call a dingle stick. It's just something you make out of the field to do a job. Now these would be created in camp quite often because somebody forgot to bring their spatula or didn't have one, and you're about to do something that you're going to need one for. So they would just sit down and whittle out a spatula in a couple minutes. Don't have to be very technical. Alright, now I've got down to about 1/8 of an inch all the way across. That's what I want. I want it to be strong enough to actually lift something, but at the same time be thin enough, because now I'm going to wedge off from one side only. I'm going to look at the handle. I've got it kind of curved down, so that way I can have a curve up or a curve down. So this is the way I'm going to take the edge down. Come back up here about 1/4 inch back, taking the straight part, bear down, like I said, come back, I'd say 3/8 of an inch, and start taking it to a point like, just like that. I want it to be no thinner than like a 1/16. That's kind of curving it. That's what I want. Get that piece off. Okay, nice and thin. This side right here, just a little bit thicker. Okay, that side's nice and thin now. That allows me to push and slide along the bottom. Now using the back of the knife, that 90-degree spine, changing hands a second. Use that to finish rolling that edge over. Alright, now up in this part, I'm going to hollow it out just a little bit more. So I'm going to put it up here against my chest. I'm going to use that round part of the blade. And I'm going to go in, just like that, like I'm doing a spoon. I'm not doing a spoon, but you see my point. I want this to be able to scoop up and pick up something out of a pan, while at the same time not, being a true spoon. I don't want to have to push it any harder than I have to. Just like that. Just want a little bit of a hollow right there. And see how I'm pushing down and twisting the blade? And it takes them off in fine little shavings. Burr off right there. I can feel my thumb a slight depression. That's what I'm wanting. That way when I put it in the plate and I slide it in, I've got a little catch area there I can scoop and pick up with. Okay, now you see how the angle is. It's curving up. Now this is still a little bit thick right in here. And once I thin down this handle, I'll get down there to that. Now this handle, take and put that belly right there. Just like that. Now coming in and do the same thing on the other side. Putting that right here is going to be what's going to initiate it and going to make it happen. Rock it back and forth. Get it to bite. And I'm just going to kind of rock my body weight on it. Got a tough spot right there. There it goes. And saw it back and forth. Alright, baby. Alright. Do that a little bit more. So that blade gets it better. Sometimes you gotta fiddle with it, guys. There we go. Alright, see how much I took off right there. See how the curve is. That's what I wanted. Now, flatten it out. Alright, now, notice when I started I put 2 notches up there. That's for the reason. Now, I want to put a cut here and here. So I go back, but this time I'm going to use my Swiss Army knife. Laying that knife down because that sucker's a razor and you know what's going to happen. And we don't want to do a first aid video. Now, getting up here on either side of it, I'm going to give a little cut down. Just a little bit. That's what those little bitty, I talk about carrying a little bitty saws for. Precision cut. Could I split it like this? Yes, but I run the risk of messing up what I've already done. And notice I've already got notches there and there. That's what I started with. Alright, now comes the fun part. Put it in that cut right there. Run that cut down. Get down there close. See, it's just a grunt deeper. Well, stop. Get the saw. And go that just a grunt deeper. Like that. Now this side. Almost. Put the blade back in there. And pry either on this side or this side, depending on which way you want it to go. And the way I'm doing it, I want to pry outward this way. Keep it shallow, seeing it popped off like that. Perfect. Now, I can put it up against my chest. And I can start slowly. Notice that big word? Power cut. Slowly bringing it down to a handle. Now, that's about as small as I want it right there. And there's still a lot of meat on this side. And that we're going to take off this way. Don't bear down a lot. See those long curly cues coming off? Let it bite. and then just pull. But Blackie, it's not perfectly straight. Yeah. You know what? It'll be alright. Nobody will say it's store-bought, will they? So there's the knot that was causing it wanting to run out funny earlier. Most is really good wood to carve with, just for this reason. Soft wood, easy to cut, holds up well, doesn't add a funky taste or anything to the food once it dries. Now when it's still green, it's going to have a lot of sap. So, be ready. Besides that, you're good. Get down on that hump a little bit right there. And at this point, all we're doing is aesthetics. Take the edge, take the back of the knife now, and plane it smooth. Get a hard spot like that. See that lips, those little bitty feathers right there wanting to kick up. So I take my knife, slice them off smooth. And like I said, this is a down and dirty, in the field, quick dingle stick. It's not meant to be a showpiece. And much of the stuff that you see in the YouTube of people carving spoons, that is an art form. I mean, that's a very good skill, and I have nothing but admiration for those guys. And I have carved spoons before. So there's a difference between something down and dirty you're going to use, and we're going to leave this here when we're done and go home and leave it just back to nature, and something I'm trying to sell or pass on to the family or whatever. This is not going to be an heirloom. This is just simply going to be a using tool to pass on when I'm done. So let's look at it at close up. I now have a wedge that's curved a little bit, so I can put it and go down into the pan. I can take it curved down because that's where the cover is for using this, for scraping back to me. I can easily go under something and pick it up, like a piece of meat or something like that. I can easily go under it and pick it up to be able to transfer it to a plate. All of that out of what, 10-15 minutes work with a knife. Now I could easily have been sitting here doing this while my food was cooking, or while my fire was getting ready, or whatever. It's really easy to do. You just got to visualize it in your head. What am I trying to make? Now, is this pretty? Absolutely not. Is it functional? Absolutely. Will it do the job that I want to do in the way I wanted to do it? Yes. Here's another little tip. These points, the very corners, kind of knock them down slightly curved back toward the center. They don't split off as easy. And that could be a problem when you're trying to cook. So, in conclusion, there is a little down and dirty homemade dingle stick spatula for use in the pan. Could I eat with this? Yeah, I could scoop food right out of a pot and eat with this. Couldn't eat soup, but I could eat, broth, chilies, any kind of meat or any kind of thick stuff I could easily eat with this. Could I use it for scrambling eggs or something like that in a pan? Absolutely. Can I reach down in a canteen cup to get the food out of the corners? Absolutely. It does its job, and when I'm done with it, I leave it. Okay, so there it is. A simple dingle stick. All it is a small spatula. Is it pretty? No. Is it functional? Yes. Will it serve its purpose? Yes. Whenever I get done with my job of cooking, or when I'm done for the day, or I'm done with this campfire or whatever, I can take it home if I want to, or I can throw it in the fire as I walk away. It's a simple little exercise where I'm practicing knife skills of making something useful. And I tell you what, this is how you get good. Now this wasn't meant to be pretty. This was meant to be functional. And as you can see, even somebody with a lot of experience like me can make something that looks kind of crappy. And that's fine. But will it do its job? Yeah. Well, that's all that matters. Could I eat with this? Could I scoop food up? Yes. Could I use it as a spatula inside of my pan? Yes. Can I use it to help clean the pan when I'm done? Yes. All of those things out of that right there, and that took me, what, 20, 25 minutes total to sit and carve it from scratch. And it's not going to be a keepsake. This is probably going to go in the fire whenever I'm done. But it's some skill that while I'm sitting waiting for my fire to get right, and I realize, dadgummit, I didn't bring my spoon or whatever, I can quick and easily make my own, have it, use it, and just be part of the woods. Enjoy it, and when I'm done, leave it to nature or take it home. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you did, please do me a like, share, and subscribe on there. And until next time, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.